Dear students, today we have to discuss something about federal system. This module is meant for the second semester BA economic students for their complementary paper in political science. Federal form of governments. We can classify governments on the basis of relationship between a central government and its subdivisions. The classification is purely based on the relationship between center and unit. We can classify governments on the basis of their structure into two types. First one is federal governments and second one is unitary governments. In a federal system, the powers of government are divided between center and many states, which means that there are several states and they are controlled by a single central government. There are two levels of governments in a federal system. One government will be at the central level or at the union level, and several governments are there at state level or unit levels. This type of governmental arrangement is called a federal system. Federalism, this type of government is a government will ensure two levels of government and a clear-cut division of power between center and states. Federalism ensures each levels of government sovereignty in some areas, which means that the central government have their own sovereignty and state governments have their own sovereignty at their respective fields. That is the arrangement of a federal system. Federal system is very simple in its structure. There will be several state governments and they are controlled by a single central government. That kind of governmental arrangement or administrative arrangement is known as federal system. The term federalism or federation is derived from a Latin word foedus, F-O-E-D-U-S, foedus, or which means that covenant, treaty or agreement. Federalism, the word federalism or federation derived from a Latin word foedus, which means that covenant or treaty or agreement. Here covenant or treaty or agreement is between several states and they creates a single central government. That is why it is known as a federal government. A federal state is a type of sovereign state characterized by union of self-governing states or regions united by a central government. That is the basic feature of a federal system. In a federal system, there is a type of sovereign state characterized by union. There will be a union which controls all other small units or states. The union has sovereign power over the divisions or subunits. They are united by these small states in a federal system, or subdivisions or regions or units in a federal system are united by a common central government. This type of arrangement is known as a federal system. This self-governing status of units have some autonomy in their respective areas, or they have some powers in certain areas. This power has been originated from, or this self-governing status of units are determined by the constitution of that federal system, which means that a constitution which provides power to both center and the states in a federal system. That is the basic nature of a federal mechanism or federal kind of a governmental system. A federation may be multi-ethnic and pluralistic state. Sometimes it is a common factor or feature of a federal state. Federal states sometimes have multi-ethnic or multi-religious, multicultural or pluralistic states. A country having so many diversities in religion, culture, language, etc., is they can easily manage this diversity with the help of a federal mechanism. That is why the countries like India have adopted this kind of systems. Most often, a federal state is founded on the basis of an agreement between number of independent sovereign states on account of mutual concern and interests. A federal system is created by an agreement between independent sovereign states in order to retain their autonomy, in order to retain their some rights, in order to retain their power in the field of economic, social and other aspects, but at the same time they are agreed to create a new state. That is why federalism emerges. Federalism is originating from a treaty among independent sovereign states, and they creates a new state. Such a kind of mechanism is generally known as federal system. For example, the countries like USA, Canada, Russia, Germany, Australia, India, Nigeria, etc. has been following this federal kind of a system. These are examples for federal systems. Then we can move to the basic features of a federalism. Federalism has so many common features. We can identify so many factors which are common to a federal country. First one is division of powers. In a federal system, powers of administration are divided between the union and units. Central and state governments are independent and autonomous. First of all, there will be a division of power. Both administrative and political power should be divided between center and state governments, or a union and units. Both the central government and state government has autonomy in their own respective fields, or they have the authority to make decisions on their respective areas. That is the feature of one of the major feature of this federalism. Federalism always contains a division of power between center and states. Center has its own autonomy, and at the same time states has also its own autonomy in certain fields. Then second one is a federalism needs separate sets of governments. A federal mechanism always needs two separate levels of government or separate sets of governments for their administrative and political convenience. The center and states have separate set of governmental apparatus. Each level of government has its own legislative, executive and judicial mechanisms. In a federal system, we have legislative, executive and judicial mechanism at union level as well as at the state levels. Both there are two levels of government or separate sets of government for center and the units. That is another important feature of federalism. Thirdly, a federal form of government or federal mechanism always needs a written constitution for ensuring the smooth implementation of division of power, and as well as it needs a written constitution. For this, without having any kind of ambiguities or confusion or confrontation between center and states, we need a written constitution. That constitution should clearly define the power division or the sharing of power between center and the units, which means that for the smooth functioning of a federal system, we need a written constitution which clearly demarcates what are the powers of center as well as what are the powers vested to states. That kind of a situation should be there in order to avoid any kind of ambiguity, confusion or confrontation between center and states. Further, as far as the constitution is concerned, this constitution should be rigid constitution. There should be a written constitution, at the same time it should be a rigid constitution. In most of the federal countries, they have made very rigid constitution in order to protect the division of powers and the center-state relations smooth, and implementation of division of power should be very clear. Rigid constitution is a precondition for protecting the spirit of the covenant or agreement which created the federal state. A rigid constitution is necessary in the sense that we have created a federal state as a result of a covenant or treaty or agreement between several states. We have to protect the spirit of that system or spirit of that treaty. In order to protect the spirit of that covenant or agreement or treaty which created that federal state, we need a very rigid constitution in the sense that the authorities or the power who controls the power at center does not tamper with the spirit of a federal constitution or federal system. Further, a federal mechanism or federal country needs independent judicial mechanism. Independent judiciary is necessary in order to resolve the dispute between center and states and conflict among the states. There should be a strong judicial system in order to resolve any kind of conflicts that emerge between center and states and among states on aspect of this division of powers. There may emerge many conflicts or between center and states on account of the division of powers. Then we need an independent and impartial judiciary in order to resolve these conflicts emerges from the basic principles of federalism. If central government or state government violates the principles of federalism, the court have to interfere and resolve that conflicts peacefully. That is the necessity of an independent judiciary as far as federalism is concerned. It enables to resolve the dispute between constitutionally. By an independent judicial mechanism, we can resolve any conflict between center and states or among states very peacefully and constitutionally. Thus, in a federal system, judiciary acts as a custodian and guardian of constitution. In a federal mechanism, a judicial mechanism acts as the both custodian and guardian of constitution, and in that sense it protects the ethos and basic principles or basic aspects of federalism. Essential conditions of federalism. We can identify several preconditions or essential conditions which creates a federal system. First one is that two or more independent states agree to form a new union or federation. A federation is created only by signing a covenant by two or more independent states. Then two or more independent states agree to form a new federal system or new state mechanism is necessary for the necessary condition for creating a federalism. Further, the countries enters into a treaty to surrender some of their rights. The countries which signed the covenant surrenders some of their rights to the newly founded state, and at the same time they retain some of their rights. They surrender certain rights, at the same time they retain some of their rights and some of their sovereignty and some of their autonomy. Then geographical continuity is necessary for a successful federation. Geographically integrated or geographically continued territory is to some extent is necessary for a successful continuation of or successfulness of a federal mechanism. It is very difficult to maintain a federalism which is geographically separated kind of a thing. Then it is suitable for country societies based on unity in diversities. Federal mechanism is very useful in countries having so many diversities. Plural societies can be administered, or plural society can be politically united with the help of a federal mechanism, which means that federal mechanism is very helpful in maintaining the diversities of a country or in unifying the societies having various kind of diversities in cultural, linguistic or any kind of thing. Thus, it is a unifying factor. Federalism can be work as a unifying factor for in a diversified societies. And further, federalism can be we can implement or we can bring federalism only in if there is absence of extreme inequalities. We should have some kind of equality among society in order to bring this kind of a federal governmental mechanism. Federalism needs some kind of a level playing ground or some kind of an equality kind of a situation should be there for implementing such a kind of a federal system within the country as a whole. Then another precondition or another condition for implementing a federal system or successful federal system is that similarities in socio-political institutions both at center and state level. There are so many socio-political institutions in every country, legislature, executive, judiciary kind of a thing are there. But here we are mentioning the fact that the socio-political institutions we are establishing at the central level and state level should be similar in their character and structure. If central government is in presidential form, the state government also should be in presidential form. If central government is in parliamentary form, the state government also should follow the parliamentary form of government. A diversified kind of a political structure is not practical in a federal system, which means that similarities in political structure and political institutions should be maintained both at the central level as well as at the state levels or unit levels is a necessary condition for maintaining a federalism. And further, we should try to maintain a balanced socio-economic development within the territory of that federal system. Otherwise, there is a chance of subnationalism and fissiparous tendencies in the country. We should try to maintain a balanced socio-economic development. Development in socio-economic and political fields should be a balanced one throughout the country. Otherwise, there may be a chance of fissiparous tendencies or regionalism or subnationalism may emerge and the country may lead to face so many crises as a result of these kind of imbalances in socio-economic development. Further, center-state coordination and cooperation is needed rather than competition. In a federal mechanism, we need coordination and cooperation rather than competition. The center-state relation should be based on coordination and cooperation rather than what you may call competition. There is no need of competition between center and states. They should work together. The center-state relation should be persuasive, flexible and not coercive and rigid. The center-state relation should not be coercive kind of a situation and that should not be rigid kind of a situation. It should be persuasive as well as flexible. Very flexible kind of cooperative kind of relation should be maintained between center and states. And further, there should be reasonable trend towards centralization. Federalism is such kind of a mechanism in which the tendency of decentralization is there, but in actual sense, the federalism always demands some kind of centralization, and it try to cultivate a political culture that should be in favor of federalism. It should promote a federal kind of a federal system should promote a political culture which is favorable to maintaining a federal system. We should cultivate some kind of political culture which is favorable to federal system or central government. Not we are promoting decentralized kind of a thing or viciparent or subnational or sub-regional should not be promoted. We should promote there should be, for a successful federation, there should be some kind of centralization should be there, and we should cultivate a culture of federalism within the country rather than promoting regionalism or sub-regionalism or such a kind of fissiparous tendencies. Advantages of federalism. Federalism has so many advantages as far as countries having diversity of race, religion and culture exists. It is suitable for countries having so many diversities. It is suitable for plural societies. Countries having cultural diversity, linguistic diversity, racial diversity or something like that. It is very big, this kind of diversified societies can be easily administered by this kind of federal kind of a situation, because there is decentralization of power and different groups in the country get adequate share in the power. That is another situation. That is why it is suitable for countries having diversities of race, religion and culture. Then it provides different sections of people, because there are two levels of government. One is at central government and another several governments are at state levels. Then more and more people get a chance to uh, control power. They get a share in political power, economic power, and something like that. In such situation, it gives more representation to people, and it gives more sections of people into the corridors of power. In that kind of a situation, it is more democratic. We can analyze that federalism is more democratic in the sense that it gives more opportunity to power, more opportunity to people to get access to power. The issues of national importance can be handled by central government and regional importance by state governments. Another advantage of this federal mechanism is that if there is a situation or situation of national importance can be handled by central government, and central government can administer the important aspects of the union government, and they can, and regional the government of local level can handle the local issues, and in this way it is more administratively, it gives more administrative convenience for both central government as well as the state government. Small states become more powerful by uniting with others in political and economic terms. A federal system will give a chance to small states become powerful by uniting with others and creating a federal mechanism. It is suitable for countries having large geographical area. As I mentioned earlier, a federal mechanism is suitable for countries having large geographical area. Two levels of government ensures effective administration and rational use of resources. Countries having vast geographical area can be administered best by a federal mechanism of government, because there is a central government and local governments. This both mechanism can use the resources effectively. The natural resources as well as the economic resources of the country can be effectively managed by a federal system if the country is geographically very wide and large. That is another important advantage of this federalism. Further, a federal mechanism reduces the burden of central government. Otherwise, the central government has to handle every aspects of people or every aspect of socio-political life of people. If there is a federal system, the local aspects or regional aspects of the people will be handled by the local governments or regional governments, and the central government can concentrate on its foreign policy, relations or economic aspects and such a kind of thing. Then it reduces the burden of central government, and it is an extension of federalism at international level. Further, if we extend this federalism into an international level, it may be helpful for establishing a world government. It is a model for establishing a world government system, or a universal government mechanism can be implemented by taking federal system as a model, which means that two levels of government, one at the central level and so many units at the local levels. It is and finally, one major advantage of this federal mechanism is that it gives room for innovations and experimentation. Governments of the units or state governments can implement their own innovative programs and policies which have long-term impact on socio-political and economic life of people. It is another aspect or merit of this federalism, which gives ample opportunity to local governments to implement their own innovative programs and policies to improve the socio-economic life of people. Then disadvantages of federalism. Even though we have identified so many merits of this federalism, we can identify certain drawbacks also. First one is that overlapping of work and also confusion regarding who is responsible for what. Major problem we can identify in this federal mechanism is that sometimes a clear division of power is not present in many countries because of so many reasons. In that situation, the common man or the layman does not know who is responsible for this kind of a situation, who should handle this kind of situation. That kind of confusion is there. Utter confusion exists in many federal countries because of the clear-cut demarcation of powers of both central government and state government. And second one is that it is very expensive in the sense that because there are two levels of government, one government is at central level and another one is at state level. These two levels of government always creates, there will be more elected members, more administrative structures, and it will increase the governmental expenditure. We have to manage both the central government as well as the state level governments, and both have same kind of political structures, legislature, executive, judiciary, etc. And in that situation, we have to pay more for managing all these levels of government. That is why it is not very expensive. Then further, another demerit of this federal system is that it promotes regional inequalities due to the disparities in distribution of resources as well as employment opportunities. In many federal countries, we can identify that the distribution of resources as well as employment opportunities is not evenly distributed in all areas of the country or all parts of the country. Then there emerges some regional inequalities. Some areas have more advantage of this federal, get more advantage from central government, and some other may be neglected. That kind of a situation is there. Economic development or social development in all part of a federal system is not evenly distributed. That is one of the another major demerit of this mechanism, and that is why sometimes it leads to these regional imbalances and regional inequalities. Sometimes leads to sometimes promotes sub-regionalism and fissiparous tendencies in the country. This kind of imbalance or in economic development or distribution of resources leads to sub-regionalism or fissiparous tendencies or demand for autonomy or demand for secession, etc. may emerge because of this federal kind of a mechanism. It leads to in some countries it leads to unnecessary competition between different regions. There may emerge conflict over division of power between the center and states. In a federal mechanism, there is also sometimes there emerges conflict between center and states. Center-state conflict is there. Sometimes there is a confusion between the division of power between center and state. This kind of situation also creates sometimes a competition between different regions or different units of a federal mechanism is another complex area or grey area in countries having federalism exists. Then it is less effective than unitary system in managing emergency situations. Some scholars argue that federalism is not suitable for handling emergency kind of a situation. If the country faces an emergency, if it is a unitary mechanism, it can easily handle that situation by taking strong steps. But in a federal mechanism, the central government has to consult with the regional governments or state governments. That kind of situation is not suitable for handling emergency kind of a situations. Then it creates unnecessary complexities and confusions because of there are so many areas in which complexities and confusion exist in a federal mechanism. As I mentioned earlier, the division of power may not be always proper. This creates some complexities and confusion, and sometimes there is the duplication of work is there. Both central government and state government perform the same function. That kind of a duplication of work as far as in lawmaking or implementation process, there is some kind of duplication of work is also there. And finally, federalism incurs a heavy public expenditure, or federalism demands heavy public expenditure in the sense that it have to pay for two levels of government and multiplicity of political structures are there. These situations create federalism into a heavy public expenditure. It demands heavy public expenditure as far as for the successful working of federalism is concerned.